Hey guys, it's Mike. Today we're just gonna have a conversation. It's gonna be nothing specific, just talk about some random stuff. Um, the first thing I want to talk about with you guys is just I keep hearing every day about people wanting to invest in the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency markets, and Bitcoin specifically. And I have to remind everybody constantly: these markets are new. Okay, these markets are revolutionary, not so much the currencies themselves or the tokens, but the blockchain technology itself. So when you go to do any kind of investment, look at the blockchain itself and what you think may or may not change the world. This new paradigm with these tokens and these cryptocurrencies resembles a lot of what happened in the 1990s into the early 2000s with the dot-com bubble. And I know when you hear dot-com bubble, you automatically assume the downside of it when everything went to crap and people lost money and it just turned into a big ordeal. And it took a long time for the markets created by the internet to recover from that. It took almost 2 decades, closer to three. Um, and that's a long time to wait for to regain whatever it is you put into something. I mean, it took that's a lot. 30 years, that's a lifetime. 20 years, it's still a lifetime. I mean, like me now at the age that I'm at, 20 years from now, I'm gonna be in my 50s. That would suck to have to wait that long to realize gains from something that I put money into. So when you look at these crypto markets, think about that. Think about where it's going. Think about what you want and also have an exit strategy. Don't be greedy. If you have some place bets, take winnings and place bets. But always remember to take your winnings. Don't just ride it all on one horse and, keep your fingers crossed. Especially if you're one of those people that went out there and took out loans, maxed out credit cards. You have to pay these things back. Now, the other thing I want to talk about specifically is the difference with using credit cards to purchase cryptos, especially when there's better options. Even with gold and silver, I'm not saying that credit cards are a bad thing. I don't like them. I think that they are just a means to just enslave populations into debt, because if you really, really look at it, they make it almost impossible to pay them back. It gets to the point where all you're doing is servicing a debt and not getting out of anything in specific, but they can be useful tools. The idea behind money is not so much to think of it as a tool. Actually, you need to think of it as a tool. Not even sure where I was taking that thought. You have to think of it as a tool, and you have to use it as a tool, and that's it. Don't think of it as something precious, something you have to protect, but a tool that you use to get the things that you want. You can purchase credit cards, and not credit cards, but cryptos, and you can purchase gold and silver using credit cards, but do it smart. They have plenty of things out there that you can use that have zero interest rates for 6 months, for a year, and use that to your advantage. Buy an asset on borrowed money, pay that money back before the interest hits. I mean, just ponder on that. That's an amazing thing. And then honestly, if you really want to look at it, if something ever really goes bad, you don't have to pay it back. So that's just my thoughts on that. I also want to talk about the crypto markets themselves. I'm going to go ahead and bring up this so you guys can look at some of this stuff. With Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, and all these other currencies, you have to look at them and realize something. People are ridiculous. People are what all they're doing is speculating on one thing to the other, and everybody has an opinion. They either have good opinions about let's talk about Ripple, because everybody loves talking about the Bankster coin and whether it's evil or good. Guys, who cares? The idea is to place bets and take winnings. I don't understand why somebody wouldn't bet on a horse that has always won the race against horses that you're not too sure about. The fact of the matter is, will banks lose? Eventually, yes, but in the short term, no, they won't. You can't compete with them. And to think that this time next year they'll be gone, it's a pipe dream. So place bets and take your winnings and get yours. And also look at the future. Yes, this technology will go someplace. Yes, this technology will take you to new heights and hopefully get you out of that work pay bills paradigm that almost everybody is in, except for a small amount of people. But when you're doing this, make sure to plan accordingly. The fact of the matter is 2018. There's going to be rate hikes this year, at least a couple, but every time there's rate hikes, they're designed to take money out of the system, and it's supposed to go toward banks, but that's not how that goes. They almost always end up into the population having to pay it back. So what does that mean? Look at your credit card statements. Your credit cards have APRs on them, but some of them are variable. Not very, very big variances, but enough. Let's say you're paying a card that has a 24% interest rate, but there's a possibility that it can go, 30 is the max. When you go from 24 to 30%, that is a big deal. And if you actually want to talk about interest rates, there is a time that in this country, because of our forefathers, you couldn't have interest rates over a certain percentage because they considered it theft. So basically all I'm trying to tell you guys is just be careful. Place your bets. Look into the coins. Look into Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash. Cardano is going to be a good one, Litecoin, and some of these other coins, and tell yourself, when you look at them, tell yourself, does this have a future? And if it does, bet on it. And some of the other ones, look at the hype and ride the hype. Spend $50 on it. Let it go up, and maybe you'll get yourself 150 and walk away. And then you can put into things that make more sense. Same thing with gold and silver. Use what you have to your ability. One place I can think of that you can do, PayPal. PayPal actually has PayPal Credit, where they will give you 0% interest for a certain amount of months with no payments on basically any purchase that you make. Not so much with cryptos, but you can do it with gold and silver, because when you buy them, they're considered jewelry. They don't actually put it down as you're buying bullion. So you're buying an asset, you're trading an asset for borrowed cash with 0 interest, and you pay it back. Worst case scenario, like I said a little bit earlier, you walk away with an asset. So that's it for today. I'm gonna do more videos of this nature. I'm not a big fan of planning things out. I think it's better just to talk to you guys and have conversations. So we'll go from there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure to subscribe, to like, to dislike, and leave some comments at the end. Later, guys.